Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, I think it's called storyteller in this game.
Story guide, I think.
Story guide, okay. Yeah, let's go with that. That works for me. We are going to be playing... returning to a game that has been a white whale of mine for a very, very long time. We did start playing, actually, this particular adventure a little over a year ago, and then we're not able to get back to it. But we are back and trying again in the first of our series of Muser's Most Wanted games for 2026. Throughout the year of 2026, we'll be running two-part adventures, split about 4 weeks apart as we play the two parts, playing a series of games that are either high on our list collectively on the player roster and have not been able to get to the table, or actually that's really it, or games that like all of us have been itching to try for the first time. And over the course of the year, we'll be doing that. But we're kicking things off with a return to Ars Magica 5th edition, which is currently about to be delivered in its definitive form, thanks to the definitive edition that was crowdfunded last year. We are playing an adventure out of the Hooks supplement. And that adventure is called Salvation. I made a couple small changes to it, but we're otherwise pretty much running it as intended. So if you are intending on playing that adventure at some point, this will contain spoilers for that. If you don't care about that, well then welcome. Allow me to introduce you to our troupe for today, the stars of today's session. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what's your experience with Ars Magica. First up, we've got Ingolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Gwyneth Hargest, and my experience with the game is I played it about a year ago for the first time, and I'm now happy to continue it.
Very nice. Next up is Sean.
Hi, I am playing a knight by the name of Sir Edouard du Perron. As George said earlier before we got started, someone help me with this. How do I pronounce my own name?
Well, I believe George being American, I'm pretty sure it's Duperon.
That's what it is. That's right.
Edouard Duperon.
Duperon. And I will be protecting Trevor Cadell, our magus. Nice.
And what's your experience with Ars Magica?
Zero. Buying bundles of it. That's my experience.
Next up is Graham.
Hello, I'm Graham, and I am playing Trevor Cadell, who is a mage. So welcome, fellow travelers of the mundane. I am of the Labellis Covenant, and I have some reading to do, so if you'll just excuse me.
Graham, what is your involvement with Ars Magica previously?
Ars Magica, yeah, one of the games I played back in the day, and by back in the day I mean quite early. So for me, the definitive edition is actually the 2nd edition, which goes right back. And I played and ran it there, thought it was a tremendous game at the time, and I have done virtually nothing with it for, 30 years or more, so I'm a bit rusty.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least is George.
Hey everybody, I'm George. I will say that to me it sounds like Graham knows exactly how to play a magus. I love magic users, as some people know, but mine are kind of like more like pyromaniacs than actual spellcasters. So that seems like
you look forward to you learning about House Flambeau then.
Well, that's yes. I am excited about that. But instead, today I'm playing Robert, who is a rogue in this setting, and I love that the game has lots of different things that kind of determine who you are as a character. And I'm just going to mention that he is not only sociable but also daring and avaricious. So this will be fun to play. And he's got a grog that, or I'm also playing a grog as well. Named Wolfhelm. Is it Wolfhelm or Wolfheim? This is not my. This is my
Our covenant is set in Somerset in England, so Wolfhelm, I think.
Wolfhelm,
probably...
yes, Wolfhelm the Hunter. And so he will be hopefully surviving along with the rest of the party if I don't kill him by mistake.
Very nice.
Oh, and I have never played Ars Magica. I've had many different. I think I've started the first edition I had was maybe third. Maybe a second. I can't remember. It's been a long time. Obviously, I was interested because of all the magic in it. I love Hermetic philosophy too, and the kind of real world elements that are kind of woven into the setting. So I'm very excited to take my first dip into the waters of Ars Magica. Very
nice. So I have Ars Magica was for a very, very, very long time a white whale of mine that I never got to the table. I've owned it in multiple editions. This is the second time I'm actually running it, though, so I will apologize in advance for the rules I get wrong. We also talked beforehand. One of the things that I've always struggled with running Ars Magica is historical fidelity. I've always felt that I wasn't equipped to be able to run the specific historic setting that I had in my head. What we are going for today is we're going for fun over fact, and if there are elements of it that are departing from your vision of this, the Ars Magica setting is very much like the Traveller universe setting in the sense that everyone is going to be different at your table. What is right for your table is going to be right for you. I apologize in advance if it doesn't line up with what your expectations, which is to say we introduce the heavily influenced by Army of Darkness elements with a boomstick and a motor vehicle. We're not having any of that stuff in there, but I will be getting some stuff wrong, so I do apologize for that. But, guys, let's start. So, our adventure starts with maybe a little bit of context first. So, you are all members of the Covenant of Libellus. Libellus is, we talked earlier before we went live about the different stages that covenants go through in their lifespan, not necessarily in a direct line, but it is a recognition of sort of their level of influence and experience in contrast to other covenants. Libellus would be viewed as a spring covenant. It is a place where it has a bunch of low stone buildings. Actually, I can read you the element. I'm making use of Heirs to Merlin from 4th edition because they didn't actually release an English one for England in 5th edition. I think I assume because they assume some folks would make use of that, and the cross compatibility is quite high. 141 and 125. Here we go. Here we are. Libellus is a complex of a dozen buildings surrounded by a stone wall. All the buildings are of stone and most are thatched. 3 have tiled roofs, the council chamber, the library, and Stephen Eruditus's sanctum. Each magus has one building as a sanctum, and other buildings include the kitchens, the grog barracks, and the stables. The buildings are plain and functional, and the perimeter wall does not have crenellations or a wall walk. They are relatively new. Now, Trevor comes from House Titulus, and Titulus, Graham, what do you remember about House Titulus?
I remember nothing about House Titulus.
So House Titulus...
Trevor probably doesn't know much about them either, really.
Well, it is... So House Titulus embraces the idea of progress through struggle. Nothing comes easy to any member of House Titulus, particularly your apprenticeship for it. So you can imagine that you have truly walked a gauntlet in your apprenticeship, but you are now a full mage. Now, I think, I might have this wrong really quickly.
Or possibly a Marxist if it's all through revolution and struggle.
Yeah, give them a couple centuries, and that may articulate to that.
Maybe
that's right.
House Titleist.
I see it more of as a young Hegelian, actually. It's more.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. So the philosophy of Titleist Magi is to master all forms of conflict. To this end, they promote innovation in all sorts of contests. They do not feel alive unless they are in a constant state of struggle, perpetually testing the strengths and weaknesses of others. House Titleist is almost the opposite of House Tremere, where the Tremere believe in stability and respect for elders. Titleist Magi believe in constant change and in challenging your elders repeatedly until you can finally win. In their never-ending search for conflict, the leaders of House Titleist went too far in the 10th century, falling prey to demonic machinations. Those masters of intrigue arrogantly believed they could master the dark forces, but despite their skill, were unable to outwit hell. The leaders were executed for their crime of diabolism, and House Titleist has been distrusted ever since. Now, that is the archetype of the type of magus, but there are all sorts of reasons why your character could defy that or transcend it. The selection of apprentices is never... you don't show up at mage school and put a hat on and then you go to your assigned house. It is as much a matter of fortune and circumstances as it is appropriateness to fit. So however you feel Trevor's personality is, that is the house in which he exists, but he need not be akin to the archetype of that house. What doesn't change, though, is that it is quite a struggle. Now, I don't remember. I think it is House Titleist, but I couldn't find it in a quick glance. When you become a Magi, you get your sigil as one of the things that marks you as a full magus. I think Titleist might be the house where they keep your master keeps that. And the reason that's important is because that is how you vote at a tribunal. When you are voting for the governing of the Mage Society, they still have control over that. Not going to matter for the purpose of this adventure, but to give you a context of what your dynamic would have been like becoming a mage, and then the house in which you are operating. Do you think your master or former master is part of Libellus, or have you come here on your own?
Well, I quite like the idea that my master is part of Libellus in that case.
Okay. In which case, it may not surprise you to learn that you're having relatively recently come here. You have been pressed in charge of a delegation to the local bishop, the bishop at Bath. You have had with you seconded a number of other folks who are members of this covenant. These include a young scholar, a brilliant young woman who has joined the covenant to be able to freely study without the prejudices of the wider, more misogynistically inclined world. You have a young knight who has sworn himself to the covenant, and a young man who has a good sense of the practicalities of life in the wider world. I think this is your first task as a independent magus, Trevor. But for the rest of you guys, do you think this is first time out? Something you've done before? Or some of you are quite young, like Sir Edward is quite young. Robert, I can't remember how old you are.
I think he looks older than he probably is, would be my guess. But I do think he probably has been out. He's got a dark secret. So that must have come about somehow. I have an idea for what it might be. But I think it would involve him having had to leave and gone out on his own in order to have participated in this secret in some way.
George, are you going to be comfortable playing a character who has a burning dark secret that potentially dooms the rest of the party?
I'm going to really try to pull it off.
Good stuff. What about Sir Edward and Gwynedd? What do you guys think?
Yeah. So, okay. So I think Gwynedd is she's somehow outcast from her family. Maybe she was too too much interested in reading books and not too much in being a PS wife or something, or becoming one. So I think she is not going out very much. So this maybe is the first time, other than being expelled and somehow finding shelter here. So I think that's the first mission she's on. Let me put it this way.
And Sir Edward?
Yeah, I think Sir Edward is also pretty fresh. He has a flaw of oath of fealty to someone outside the covenant. So I'm thinking if that's not already determined, I'm thinking it may be someone that's responsible for him being here, like pulling some strings. And so he's got, if that person shows up, or it could be awkward because he's sworn to repay that debt and to do something like that. He's young and wants to prove himself, and is virtually certain that will happen. He is well equipped and well trained and devout above all else.
Okay. You also have that like a saint's relic with you as well.
Maybe I got that from I don't know, whatever be most appropriate, Kevin. It could be from that quiet patron or whatever else you think.
So no, I mean, oath of fealty is just really a recognition of your status in the feudal system, more so than something. It would be something that every knight would have. Every knight has a master.
Because it says this one, someone could show up and expect me to uphold my vow to them. That's what it says outside the. Okay.
Which is again like that's the nature. Turns out the feudal system sucks. It's not great when the person can show up and be like, "Hey, you remember that horse and that armor I gave you? Now go die for me.
Right.
I want that farm." Okay, so then this is the first outing for most of you, which may be why Jacques, one of the older, more senior grogs, who probably came to Libellus with some of the senior troops. Trevor, you may actually know Jacques from before. He may have come with your master when he settled in Libellus.
Right. He's a good man. He's a good man, and he'll see us right. And I must say, could I just say to everyone, I'm incredibly looking forward to this visit to Bath. We must remember, we must never forget that the divine realm is the most powerful of all. And I must say, because I like struggle, it does have a hold over me, you will find. And to note, Sir Edward, that you have a relic of a saint with you, I can sense even the power of the aura of the divine even around us as we travel, which makes my capacity for magic really, really difficult. And I'm so grateful for it. Thank you.
Is passive aggression a form of struggle, or?
No.
It's sincere.
We will do great things together, Magus.
I think so. I
feel certain of this.
As long as we progress, as long as we go forward.
One of the neat things in the setting is that there are these different realms that influence different areas, and the game is not agnostic at all, because the divine aura is truly the most potent. Divine power is not reduced by anything, and everything else, the magic, the fairy, the infernal, are substantially reduced by God's grace. So the divine aura is indeed the most potent of all.
Indeed. It's immutable, and that is its weakness, I feel. Although that's not something I'll be discussing, I don't think, in great depth with the bishop.
All right. And so our heroes, our troop. And then as for Wolfhelm, I don't know, how do you think Wolfhelm ended up as a grog at the Covenant?
That's a great question. Let's see. I would say
Anna has ideas.
Clearly, his name seems, I would suggest, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe Anglo-Saxon, Nordic something, derivation-wise, compared to Robert. So I don't think they were affiliated in the past. I think that he was he was a lone hunter, and perhaps came from some area that had become tyrannized by some entity, some force, or some local baron even, and to escape that, he wound up setting out and ultimately came upon this. It's not called. Is it house? What are the
Covenant?
Covenant. That's it. Thank you. Came basically come upon the lands of this covenant, and it seemed like the covenant could use someone who could actually provide basic necessities. And he was happy to, almost like a hired hand, but basically instead of being paid, he's safe. So
one of his
traits, I think he's very loyal.
I forgot about this too. One of his traits is pessimistic. So
I didn't even look at his traits.
Yeah, if you look at that face, it feels like it fits with a
Oh, but look at that, loyal is on there. So okay, cool, that kind of tracks. So maybe he's pessimistic about the world. And he knows that a regular person has absolutely zero power in this world.
Yeah. I think we've all known someone in the course of who is the sort of Eeyore that we met, where everything is just constant, well, no, it's going to be just come on, man.
That's right.
Show a little positivity, Wolf.
Yes, exactly. John, I think anytime that our Magus winds up talking about any kind of hope or optimism, playing along the Hegelian dialectic, Wolfhelm will take up the opposite side of that discussion.
Yeah. And for Jacques' weakness is talking back to Maguses. Or to Magic. So he may be second-guessing Trevor's decisions, particularly given his age. The other thing, one thing I just want to mention, one of the classic sort of grog companions is the shield grog. It is the person who keeps the Magi safe. If you get into combat, the Magi knows to stand behind or near the shield grog, because he'll be the one who sucks up, or she will be the one to suck up all the hits. Jacques is not necessarily a shield grog, but he will be serving as such for this. So you can think that Jacques will be next to Trevor at most points to make sure that no harm comes to him, particularly given that some of the things you may face may only be susceptible to Trevor's magic. So if he goes down, you all die. But it has been about 2 days travel to go from Libellus to reach Bath. One thing I'm not going to do this time, I kept pronouncing it as Bath. When I mentioned to the guys before we started, I lived in Bath for a time when I was much younger, and every obnoxious local insisted on correcting. When I'd say Bath, they'd say Bath. All right. So apparently 20 years later, I was still subject to that. I have got dispensation from somebody in the comments of our last video to say both are fine. So I will be adopting that now. But let me show you guys the entrance to what you can expect of Bath.
We call it Bath in Yorkshire.
Bath.
Oh, is that right?
With an F.
Bath, no.
Let's see. Okay.
Bath in Berkshire.
We go over here, and voila. So the things that are most significant riding into Bath, it is a full city, and it is an old city. You would see riding through, there would be more recent construction, obviously, but there's also signs of the former status as a Roman community, not least of which is when you reach Bath Abbey, there is the massive market square right outside of it, and kitty corner to it is where the Roman baths are. So there are large sprawling bath structures, and there is the majesty that is Bath Abbey. This isn't quite what Bath Abbey looks like in the illustration, but it is a good enough replica for now.
Do you think I'd be excited at the prospect that maybe, as we're going to Aqua Sulis, Sulis being the ancient Roman or the acquired Roman goddess of healing, of water healing,
It is.
Maybe I'll be excited that maybe she's still here. Maybe we'll meet her.
Well, one of the things that you could, Gwynedd, who has any knowledge in history?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I should have.
You're so well read, Gwynedd.
Is it
Would that
called
be like-
history?
Yeah, history
Lore?
would work.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of knowledges, but none of them is called history.
Oh, okay.
So-
Do you have? Let's see. Gwynedd, here we go. All right, abilities. Oh, Artes Liberalis. Forgive me. That's what you want to. That's liberal arts. That would
Okay.
be good enough. Also teaching. Yeah, that'll be good enough for it. So give us a check using a normal die, not a stress die.
Okay.
The normal die, I believe, are on the left. The stress die are on the right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hope so.
So what, perhaps if there was any question of, I think that the mages typically don't have a lot of that extra training because all of your training goes into the your actual magical schooling.
That's right.
Oh, you do have Artes Liberalis.
I'm a master of penetration, apparently, but I
Hey-o.
Not gonna touch it.
We're past the first 10 minutes, I think.
Exactly.
I timed it well.
Yeah, good job, Graham. It's a pro move.
So what you find, what you would be able to communicate, Gwynedd, is that one of the things that dates back to at least the Roman era and perhaps even older is that the properties of the spring that makes up the Roman baths, they are said to have miraculous healing properties, bringing people from all across not only England but across, at the time, the Roman Empire, in order to bathe in their healing waters.
Mm-hmm.
So Trevor, yeah, you very well could having. Why don't you give us an Artis Liberalis with intelligence, please? I think I just noticed that you're actually trained in that as well.
Did you say me?
No, for Trevor.
Oh, good.
Oh, for me, sorry.
Yeah.
Which was the ability? Sorry, mate.
Artis Liberalis, please.
Got it. And it's so I'll get there. Which die is the one I should be using?
The left is the normal die, and the right is the stress die.
And is it normal, this one?
Hey. It is normal, yes, please.
And is it intelligence?
It is a simple die. I keep calling it normal. Intelligence, I think, for this one. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, the display for the game is pretty fucking cool. When you see the magic results too, it's a pretty nice looking sheet.
Awesome.
6. So I mean, you were aware of it as being a Roman, one of the many like former Roman communities that has converted over into a proper English community over the centuries. I think you were aware of the waters, but you maybe did not know about the spirit and the goddess said to be there. But Gwynedd may have piqued your interest in that,
Right.
which led you to sort of rubbernecking at the baths rather than the grandeur of the abbey itself. Robert, do you think you have any previous contacts? This is sort of the largest or one of the largest communities in Somerset, closest to the Covenant itself.
Right. Well, I think I may have, because I am sociable. So I think I might have gone to The baths were in working. Are they in working condition still at this point in time?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay, cool.
They're up until the modern day. And the only unfortunate thing is the healing waters are, at least last I was there, infested with a parasite that it can be quite lethal. So
yes, that makes sense. My sister went to school there for a year, so I got to visit. It was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. So I think I probably would have gone to the baths themselves, and I think that there's probably a lot of information to be trafficked at such places. So I think I have been here if it's close enough.
Okay. So then, do you think there's anything? Well, let me tell you the reason you're here. You are here to meet with the Bishop of Bath Abbey. That would be Bishop Simon. Bishop Simon has made a request of the Covenant for assistance with something. Now, typically, a Covenant wishes to remain above the direct associations with both Church and Crown for reasons of practicality. When there are changes in circumstances in either of those who have aligned themselves with previous regimes, whether that is a liturgical regime or a theological regime or a temporal ruler's regime, they tend to be the enemies of the new one. So mages tend to stay out of both church and temporal politics for means of survival. You don't want to be the fall people for any of them.
Makes sense.
When the bishop directly asks for assistance, there is opportunity there. And so you have been sent, Trevor, to perform whatever task that the bishop requests of you. Oh, you're muted, Graham. Timo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing that an awful lot at the moment because of my cough. Sorry.
That's okay.
Is this what sort of season is it? And is there a particular festival due that I would anticipate he might have been connecting this to, or is there
there are an awful lot of festivals in the medieval world, so it could very well be that. I think we'll play your Artis Liberalis roll forward. It's not that, and what maybe Gwynedd might direct you towards or might suggest is that it's got to be something that they cannot resolve themselves. The bishop is a it's a diocese, I believe, is the political unit that he would be in charge of, and he's a quite influential member of the church. So if there's something that was within his realm of control, it's unlikely that they would be doing that. And you're not aware, although you have not traveled much, you're not aware of troubles or any rumors of troubles with a festival of Saint so-and-so can't go forward because of this problem we've been having.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's really kind of, it's unclear why they may be looking for you, although your former master seems to have no difficulty agreeing to whatever the bishop may be requesting. It also may inform you what type of character the bishop is, because it is unlikely that they would simply sign on with any churchman's request. They likely did their due diligence, in other words.
Right.
Any other questions or things you guys would have looked into before arriving in the jaws of in the friendly, welcoming arms of Mother Church?
Is this a kind of diocese that is selling indulgences? That kind of thing where they.
So
are they engaged in that kind of activity where it's sort of
no? I stand to be corrected on this, but indulgences were sold, but it wasn't the cottage industry that precipitated in part the Reformation. It was. There still is a practicality, but like for this thing that at present, the kind of indulgence that would be most favored among the nobility in Western Europe, at least, would likely be going on crusade. That would be by conducting that, you would be guaranteeing going on crusade. You would be guaranteeing your way in heaven without having to go through the rigmarole of confession and whatnot.
Okay.
Indulgences are, well, again, like we're not necessarily trying to be historically accurate. They're a thing in the church, though, but they're not quite as common as what they will be in a few centuries' time.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not. I don't have a. I think I just always have my ear to the ground, and so it doesn't seem to me that this is necessarily a corruptly governed.
Yeah, you could
city.
check out. Let's see.
Okay.
You could give us you got a skill or an ability you're thinking of?
I was kind of thinking actually awareness, but I don't know if awareness is like social awareness or like
Not
physical,
really.
Okay.
I think guile might be the one we're thinking of here. Yeah.
And that would be like with presence, is that, or perception?
Yeah, maybe
or
presence
or communication.
The communication, actually, yeah. If you've been asking around,
Yeah, let's try.
this could be part of your due diligence.
Okay, here we go. Circumstantial, nothing, right?
No circumstantial bonus, no.
Okay, perfect. 8.
Okay. You've not heard anything. This is not someone who is. You've not heard that Bishop Simon is particularly prone to abusing his status for financial or otherwise.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and I think I would do this kind of thing. Usually, this is my sort of normal thing to do to make sure I protect my magus from any such things. So I would kind of figure out like what the potential pitfalls are in a place on this kind of social level, and try to do whatever I can to keep him away from that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
you're not. You don't find any difficulty. If you want to spend a point of confidence, that'll bump that up to an 11. There may be some other.
Oh yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let me spend my point.
To give you a judge of the difficulties, two guys. A 6 is an easy task, a 9 is an average one, a 12 is a hard one, 15 very hard. I'm telling you, Anna. And 24 is almost impossible.
Okay.
So, with an 11, there is a fairly, not notorious, but there is a notable witch hunter who has apparently come to Bath and is staying at a hostel where some of the visiting clergy would go. You haven't rolled quite well enough to learn his name, at least based on your early arrival in Bath. Maybe you arrived here before the rest of the troop did and have been asking around. You have not found who this person is, but that is the most notable thing. When a witch hunter comes to town, it's kind of like the medieval equivalent of when a cop pulls up behind you. You suddenly become conscious of all the things that you might do wrong. You are driving better than you ever otherwise do. When a witch hunter comes to town, it is much of the same. Attendance at Mass has been extraordinary in the last week or so since this witch hunter has arrived. Any other things? Oh, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Are witch hunters, I would guess the witch hunters are probably an uncommon presence, or is that not uncommon? So,
witch hunter you can think of as a colloquial term. There isn't like a official, because I think it's like a century after this is when, isn't Malleus Maleficarum the 13 or 1400s when it was written?
That I don't remember. Anybody better educated than me?
Anybody?
No.
I'd guess 1300 something, so 100 years later.
Yeah, so it'd be 100 years later, and then the whole position of witch hunter general, that's not going to be for several centuries. I think that is a English Civil War creation,
Okay.
or at least of that era. So, by witch hunter, I mean like a member of the church who is serving as in that role of kind of like exorcist, cult hunter, things like that. This is also a world where the presence of the infernal is very real. 1489, awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, cool. That's helpful. All right. I think I will have alerted Sir Edward about this for now, but I'll otherwise keep it under wraps.
Sir Edward, given that you have the bone of a saint with you as a relic, or a relic of a saint, I should say, what is it like for you when you see the grandeur of Bath Abbey for the first time?
I think he tries to behave like he's been here before, despite not having been here before, and he's he's impressed. I mean, this is the real. There's history here, and he respects what it means, and I think he's probably like reading the walls, when there's inscriptions and when there's placards, and he's busily keeping an eye on the magus, but then like going over and reading what it says, and little whatever statues and statuettes. He's drinking it all in.
Okay. So he has the kind of George, you're from New York. First time someone's in NYC and their jaw's on the ground. That is the
exactly.
Yeah, I imagine the reaction that it engenders. How would you guys like to approach the meeting with the bishop? Do you just want to arrive fresh on the road? Do you wish to try and find accommodations first?
Yeah.
How
long?
I think
we on the road?
2 days.
Oh, 2 days.
I feel like it probably would normally fall to me to make the accommodations for everybody. Sort of a more common task.
A night
I know
doing that. Night's not going to do that.
That makes sense. But I do know what each of my fellow Covenant members needs in terms of a place to stay.
Yeah.
So I would go and try to find something that kept us close together, but would be appropriate for a magus to stay in a night, etc.
Okay. Sorry, are you checking in first then to get yourself cleaned up?
I would like to do that, but I would think I would have them wait outside while I went in and made all the preparations for them, so they weren't having to speak to regular common people.
Okay.
Could it make sense? Maybe I'll ask the magus that I can send word to the bishop that we've arrived in town. Let him at least know of our arrival, perhaps, and then we'll get accommodations. But the bishop will be kept apprised of our arrival. What do you think, Magus? May I send word that we have arrived, but we'll see about our accommodations and freshen up before our audience.
Yes, and request perhaps the convenient time to meet him.
Indeed. I will do so.
Okay. So word is sent to Bishop Simon, and later in the evening, once you guys have settled yourself in, the word comes that it'll be shortly after morning mass that he will request that you attend. I'm trying to think if he would. I think that's the extent of what he sends. He is gracious as well in his thanks for your prompt attention to their requests, and he looks forward to your meeting. Anything you guys do with your evening in Bath, or just getting recovered from 2 days of travel?
mean, I think I would go to whatever would be the equivalent of a tavern at this time period to get a drink of some kind and just get to know whoever happens to be there. Maybe play a game of chance of some kind if there's one happening.
So you're going to worship the devil.
And it's all. That's what I was going to ask. But yes.
Taking out some dice. What next? Crossbows? Come on. Jeez. You're a child of Lucifer, I swear.
I don't
now you're going to tell me you write with your left hand.
Uh-oh. I don't have my Thursday pinned with me, so I can't. Yes, I mean, I'm assuming there's some under the radar things going on, things, and so I think I would engage myself in those things. Partly because of my personality type. I think that just he wants to try to win things. Whether that's coin or that's information, that kind of thing. He's always trying to grasp. He's always grasping for things that he can use and take and use for the benefit of the covenant. But he just has to do it. He can't help himself.
What about Gwynedd?
I think she would be more interested in finding good books here, but being around in the evening, that is not an option. I mean, Sir Edward could maybe accompany me or so, but I think he would not be the one who is very interested in reading a book.
No, I mean, the protection of the group, you could be persuaded if necessary. That would be, or if there's something that would impose upon him some thoughts of things he should learn to be more devout. That would be kind of his buttons to push if you wanted him to come along. If you think it important, Gwynedd.
No, I think we would find out about the books that are worthy reading only when talking to the bishop, or at least be around his house or something. I don't imagine that there will be some book vendor here who has the kind of knowledge we are seeking.
Very well. Well, we can see what the Magus wants to do. If he needs our presence before the audience in this night. Maybe that's worthwhile, or just to stop him from any weird ideas.
Speaking of which, I think Trefor is very keen to hear the whispers of the ancient Celtic gods, because Sulis, of course, was Celtic. She was of the British Isles, and she was associated with Rome, Sulis, Minerva. So maybe there are whispers of Minerva, maybe there are whispers of Sulis. And so what he'll want to do, if there is time, but this might not be the time, in which case he'll just sit and look at his books. But if there is time, he will want to go to the ancient baths themselves and see if he could just get a sense of whether the old power and the old spirits, possibly interligor auram or interligor aquam, if he's able to divine anything about just a sense of what remains of this great place of power under the umbrella, of course, of the divine.
So, as the three of you are getting kind of excited about, like, oh yeah, maybe we could do this, we could do this, you hear there's sort of like it's him clearing his throat, but he does it in such a way that it sounds like a growl. Where he's just kind of like from Jacques, and says, "In the evening, at night."
Well, yes. Oh, Jacques, you're doing that thing with your throat again. Have I misspoke?
We take your leave, Lord Magus, but you are inexperienced in the dangers that come with the night.
Fair. Then perhaps in the morn, if we have time.
Indeed. Perhaps in the morn. Wise decision, my lord Magus. And he gives kind of a look at Gwynedd like, you are a troublemaker. And
I'm confused. Like, I started the trouble? No, he started the trouble.
So the evening otherwise passes. Robert comes back with, I don't think there's much else to learn at this point from it. So it's just a matter of preparing for tomorrow's meeting. Or at least we can flash back to you trying to investigate further things if an opportunity presents itself. Morning comes. Morning mass is quite early. Folks want to get it out of the way before they can head on with their day, but there certainly is an opportunity to, if you want to skip mass, to go to the baths themselves. That is a compromise that Jacques will happily agree to. And by agree to, like, obviously you're in charge. You're totally in charge. Magus, you're definitely in charge, for sure. He will not be clearing his throat.
Yeah, but maybe then Gwynedd would just say that skipping the mass is maybe not the wisest thing to do right now.
I think Robert might be able to provide some insight into why Jacques may be. Give us another guile check there with intelligence, please.
With intelligence, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. There we go. Submit.
I have no idea.
no idea what you're talking about.
Not a fucking clue, pal. Yeah, I mean, Gwynedd, you don't have any training in guile, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah, give us a guile check.
Yeah,
Intelligence and guile, please.
Yeah.
Oh, as a troublemaker, you would, I suppose.
Indeed.
I
12!
think it always
And look at her. Her specialty is lying to authority figures.
No, it must be 15 because I use communication. I have no. Oh, I now find where I can change the attribute. But yeah.
Is your intelligence a 5?
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, so 15.
Well.
Gwynedd, you would know that like there is a long history of folks getting pickpocketed, getting knifed or whatnot on the way in and out of church. It may very well be that Jacques wants to keep Trevor in a circumstance less. This is not like a less attended church and not one of the less attended services. It's going to be quite busy at morning mass, as evidenced by the crowd outside of Bath Abbey going in. Yeah. And so that would be, I guess, with the insight you would have. Robert would, I don't know, why not? Would that change your feeling towards Jacques' willingness to skip service? Now, as for Sir Edward skipping service, if he is a devout Christian, which, I mean, all of our troop is, of course, right? I mean, come on. If Edward is a particularly devout Christian, you may want to attend Mass then. This is a unique opportunity for you, probably the largest church that you would have set foot in by this time.
It's hard to imagine missing. I will talk to the Magus and either in reading the tea leaves, I will either try to convince you, Magus, of attending yourself, or perhaps one of us definitely should to be able to report back on any message at the church that the bishop may ask about at the service, that kind of thing. Meaning himself should attend.
So, Edward, you would know that Jacques has sort of agreed with Trevor skipping it and is in support of not going. Is Edward saying, oh, we should really go to Mass?
He may, he's going to say, Magus, it would seem if the bishop makes reference to the service, perhaps I should attend so that I can report back to you what occurred there, so the bishop knows that, that it's important to us.
Well, I think if the divine is pure actuality, then you are the right person to go, Sir Edward.
As the good book says, better you than me.
We are wise, Magus. We are indeed wise. Very good.
Okay, then Gwynedd, would you care to attend a service as well, or would you like to accompany Trevor to the baths?
That is, I'm torn because somehow I have the feeling that if there is someone hunting for witches, I might be a target for that. So being at the mass would be a good thing, just showing how devout oneself is. Otherwise, I would be more interested in the ancient goddess myself. So I'm not sure, but I would say that maybe I should follow Trevor because I don't know what he's going to get into otherwise.
How do you find Gwynedd? Gwynedd, when you go into the strong realm of the divine, the immutable power, how does it make you feel? Given what you know.
I'm not in that realm. I'm in the realm of the reading about the divine, not actually entering there.
Does it not call to you as you read it, though, the power of the words?
No, actually, I study them and then I appreciate them and I analyze them and I maybe overthink them sometimes, but they do not call to me.
I see. Interesting.
And Robert?
I definitely would like to attend. I think the Covenant knows that I always attend Mass. In fact, I seem to go every day. I think what I'll say that Kevin, you know, but the others probably don't yet, is this has to do with my dark secret and some penance that I'm performing or something that I mean, it mostly wasn't my fault, but anyway.
Mostly.
And that's truly what the divine is concerned with, is the mostly.
Exactly. You can see I have problems. So no, I do attend. I willingly attend. It's not like just a way to like check out what's going on or do what I normally do at taverns or in towns, etc. It's like legit to actually experience the Mass.
Okay. So then we have two attending Mass. Wilhelm will probably attend Mass as well. The other three are heading to the baths, it seems. And I stand to be corrected on this. But one of the things that would be not necessarily unique, but certainly rare about Bath is the fidelity of the Roman ruins, is the how much they have remained intact, in contrast to, like, there is of course aqueducts and Roman roads and things like that would be signs of the persisting presence of Rome, but the full structure complete with friezes of dead emperors and things like that would be a remarkable thing that you would not necessarily come across in every roadside town or whatnot. Again, I stand to be corrected on that, but it is something that being in person at it would be quite remarkable. It's something, dating back more than 12 generations for when you're walking through. And for those who have the eye for it, like Gwynedd and Trevor, there is the telltale signs of the occultic. And Trevor, the Order of Hermes, you would be aware as part of your training, or apprenticeship at least, it is something that is said to date back to ancient Egypt, even. Nurtured by the Romans and carried on in the Hermetic tradition currently. So you would see those signs of the mystic as well within the carvings, the markings, the designs even. And then there is the water itself. I heard some talk about perhaps using the art.
Yes. Yes, I was thinking that I would blend a couple of forms. So the technique of Intelligo, just to try to understand the powers of the water, and probably Aquam as a consequence, if it's water that I'm...
Absolutely. Which one do you have better in... what is it? Aquan or Vim?
I'm more powerful with the elements. I'm an elemental mage, really, and so Aquam is more powerful than Vim. But
okay, give us an intelli. So if you are doing I take it you don't have a spell specifically that you're thinking of invoking.
I have a number of incredible spells, none of which I think really speak to what I'm trying to do.
No problem. Then the casting spontaneous magic. If you are willing to accept fatigue, the result will be divided by 2. And if you are not willing to accept fatigue, it would be divided by 5.
Oh, I think we'll accept fatigue. Definitely.
Now, the thing to bear in mind is that you take penalties if you are not able to make bold gestures and speak in a firm voice. You get a benefit if you speak in a loud voice and make use of exaggerated gestures. A loud voice can be heard at 50 paces away. A firm voice can be heard at 15 paces away.
Okay.
There are likely stewards of the of here, but you have 2 companions who could potentially distract them if you choose.
Yes. Obviously.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if I can go loud, I will. If not, probably.
So you can make subtle gestures, take -2. I'm on page 83, incidentally, of the core book. Okay. Subtle gestures take -2, and being quiet is -5. Quiet words can only be heard 5 paces away.
No, I'm not that good, so I'll probably need to be fairly open about what I'm doing.
Okay. Then, Gwyneth.
Yeah.
Do you have any way of distracting the folk, or do you care, Trevor, if you're seen invoking something?
Well, I mean, mass is on at the moment, so that's good. So quite a large number of people will be out of the way, I would imagine. So I am sensitive to invoking power in what is clearly now a Christian setting, but I think I'll risk it for this particular endeavor. As largely what I'm doing is trying to understand rather than doing anything that is, evoking a power that will be manifested.
And are you specifically thinking of incorporating Aqua Sulis into your invocation?
Yes, I am very specifically actually calling to her. Okay. To see if she answers.
It's less so in, before I speak out of turn here. Yeah, it's less so in this edition, but in previous editions, they would have individual spells. You would have like sympathetic elements you can incorporate in to get bonuses for that. Right. That would absolutely be something that could be here. And if there is indeed a residual aura of either the magic or the fairy here, that could potentially augment. Magical aura will just flat add to your results of magics, and fairy would add half of the result. And this is in spite of the very strong presence of the divine that Bath Abbey would likely have. So whenever you're ready, this is a stress die that you're using, and if we ask you for a modifier, go ahead and add +2 to that.
So I'm just checking how I do this. Is it under the base casting totals section?
Let's take a look here.
And
nope, not the
I've got
might.
Intelligo and Aquam, and it's fatiguing.
And does your talent give you any other modifiers?
Oh, so I do have elemental magic.
Can't remember if that
which,
does.
You get an additional experience point. No, so more flexible. If an Aquam, Aurum, Ignem, or Terram spell has another element as a requisite, you may ignore. Oh, okay.
That's
so I think
awesome.
it's more if I'm. Yeah.
Because that means that for this particular thing, where Veem might be a more might also be related to this, you could ignore that.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So then I think you set as a fatiguing spontaneous spell, Intelligo, Aquam. There's no focus or deficiency. You should be able to click on that, and when it asks you for a modifier, put a 2 in. Remember, don't put the plus sign in, otherwise you agree to sell your soul to Satan. Character, not you.
I have done my reading on this.
Nice. Okay, so 8.5.
I don't know what that means, but it does look very nice, I have to say.
It does look very nice. Okay, so 8.
Yeah.
What we're going to do then is we're going to look at Intelligo, Aquam, and get a sense of what between 5 and 8. Now you could spend confidence on that to make that an 11.5. The increments, just like in older editions, the thresholds are generally multipliers of 5.
Of 5, in which case I will do that. I will spend a confidence point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to change that to 2 from 3.
Okay. And then also everyone can gain everyone gains confidence at 230, so you gain another point. There's no limit to the number of confidence you can have.
Oh, in which case, can I go back up again?
Let's see.
Marvelous.
Aquam, here we go.
So that's an 11.5.
Hey, what specifically are you thinking of trying to gain from this?
So what I'm saying, I'm basically saying, Holy Sulis, if you still live in these halls, if your power is still within the holy waters of this city, please, I implore you. I have been brought here because of matters of import by the divine, and I would understand if there's anything I can do to serve you, and anything that you might tell me of the troubles that inhabit the realms of this place, from your perspective.
One thing I'll just and I'm not sure if this is just in 5th edition. 5th edition certainly has clarified the difference between like divine and magic. Pagan beliefs and pagan gods would most likely fall in either fairy or magical realms of power, as opposed to divine. Divine kind of means Christian in this, so it doesn't.
Yeah, fine. In which case, in which case I'll be calling upon the sort of magical. I'll be within the magical realm more than anything else. There.
And that's what I was wondering, is just whether because if you're calling to this older goddess, you would know that. In the tension between, like, that you have in some Arthurian stuff between paganism and Christianity, that's sort of part of the tension here as well. So you would, I think, hear, maybe not even hear, but you can definitely feel the presence of the goddess here. I think you would likely... because you were specifically trying to commune with it, what we didn't add to that was the realm bonus. And the magical, in spite of the enormous presence of Bath Abbey and the aura of the divine that is located there, the potency of Aqua Sulis is still such that there is a not inconsequential presence of magic here, and she simply communicates that she hears you, child.
Gwyneth, she's here. She is here. Her power transcends the crumbling of the stone around her. The holiness of the water perpetuates. She's here.
One thing you would recognize, so just again, I'm not trying to split hairs here, but when you say holy, that likely has a specific meaning in the context of your cosmology. Because you would know that divine when you're faced with the potency of the church, or and I think it covers basically all the Abrahamic religions. They have a specific impact on working of magic, which pagan faiths do not. So working with Aquasulis, that would fit within the magical realm, which would support your magics, as opposed to what the trying to work that magic within the abbey itself would have been next to impossible. So
structurally, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Platonically, I would agree. However, I would imagine Trefoil regards her as a goddess.
Which is fine, yeah. Rightfully so as well.
Yeah. But so I understand the distinction you're making, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So what it would be like is, would that you were not so aligned with, you would likely sense that there were some magics here. You would not know that there is a near slumbering goddess that lurks within this. That is the source of this still emanating fire. It's like having a smaller lantern next to a bonfire, right? It's easy to not recognize what the light being cast by that lantern is, but you have found it. Anything further you wish to do? You've opened the line of communication with her.
I think I would not rush this, and I would spend a moment perhaps marveling at the residue of the currents of magical power that persist in this land, despite the imposition of other realms.
Yeah, and this is the structure to human eyes and in human terms is old. She is ancient.
Oh, yeah.
Gwyneth, what have you done to distract or to attempt to distract?
I think Jack and I, we are having some kind of quarrel. I don't know how. Maybe he's my father and just wants me to do a certain thing. So we will just do some kind of rouse there.
Sure. So I think guile and I think communication.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes over. It will not take much for, you can take actually a +2 circumstance bonus to that as well. It will not take much for Jacques to disagree with you convincingly.
Yeah. We did this a lot of times. We just falling back into our old themes of disagreeing.
So, that's absolutely is very, very, very convincing. So, Trevor, anything further you wish to do in this scene?
No, I think I'm happy with that. I wanted to establish whether the power was there and if she would speak, and both have happened, so that's fine.
Yeah. So, while this place would make you feel, almost electric, I think when you do move into the abbey itself, eventually afterwards, it would be like a heavy woolen blanket thrown over you, as far as your gift is concerned.
Especially for me, because I am particularly affected by the realm of the divine.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah. So I have a flaw, which is called susceptibility to divine power.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be particularly discomforting for you, in particular, having stepped out of a place so rich with magic.
Yeah, it's a real. Yeah.
Edward and Robert, you went to church, which means you got to see Bishop Simon at work.
Oh.
He is not a young man, but also not an old man. He has the kind of the vigor of someone active. He is not someone who spends all his time clearly just in books and whatnot. He seems robust. And his presentation of the mass is likewise a vigorous presentation. There isn't anything that really stands out. It's not, particularly try to scare the congregation, trying to placate or anything like that. It is otherwise just a very admirably done thing. And for Robert, you've been here before to Bath before. But Sir Edward, I think there is something affecting, if you are of the faith, in hearing a capable priest perform the mass in a place that is designed by its architecture to augment the experience. So it is quite unlike any mass that you have attended before. How does that affect you?
Yeah, I think he's odd. He's appropriately odd. I mean, he is, and just the gathering, like it's probably well attended, I'm assuming. Probably.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah. He just soaks it in. I mean, I think he's in his element. This is it. Like he feels good about this. Like he's just, he's impressed. He's suitably impressed. And he's already thinking about his report to the Magus about this, and is sort of invigorated that Bishop Simon has called upon him, Sir Edward, for service.
Okay. A lot because it's the covenant that's been called. Sir Edward's like, me. They needed me.
There's really no question about it. I mean, it's just imposed upon him. I mean, he feels like Bishop Simon is kind of speaking to him, in this service. It
would feel like that. Like in that, especially if you have not had a lot of experience in cathedrals or grand places, this would be quite the experience if you are inclined to be moved by it.
Is there any singing involved?
I think so. This is like I learned recently that it was it 1960s or 70s with Vatican II where they allowed the liturgy in the vernacular. So this is for sure in fucking Latin, and a lot of it's sung. Yeah. So
because Sir Edward does a bit of singing, but he's probably over projecting because he's really, so Robert would notice that, like, maybe, take it down a step, but Sir Edward's not, whether you say anything or not, Sir Edward wouldn't be having it. He's just letting it fly. If we're
for the degree that there is shared things, remember, like, this is a place with intentionally designed sweeping ceilings and stuff like that, where your voice would be joined with others when the entire congregation may be inclined to speak or sing. It would be as if you are being lifted up yourself. So you can sing as loud as you fucking want. You're just contributing to the choir. Although Robert, if he is perceptive, would be able to hear him caterwauling out,
I am letting it fly. I mean, I have a rank, but just one. But I'm letting it just go.
Good. I genuinely don't know. George, you were raised Catholic, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there singing? Is that part of the mass? Or is that a Protestant thing?
No, there would be probably at this time be unlikely that the parishioners would engage in it. It would be a choir of some kind, or I think Gregorian chant would have come in later. But generally, it would be a choir. But that doesn't mean people wouldn't sing along. But the priest actually faces away from the congregation, and it, like you said, it's all in Latin. Like it definitely was a very different kind of feel. But like I think that no one would stop you from singing along. So, and I think Robert is just I think he knows why Sir Edward is singing that loud, and it's not really about what's going on in this place. It's sort of tell me if I'm wrong, Sean. It's like I am making it clear that I'm here, and proclaiming I'm going along with this and I'm the best at it of anybody here.
Well, I was personally asked to be here, so
that's what I thought. So exactly, and so he's aware that you were personally asked, and you're doing exactly what makes sense for you.
It is good to know that does cut across the denominations as well.
Totally. But I think Robert, what's interesting, I think maybe what Sir Edward sees is that Robert seems to be he's got his eyes closed and he is reciting, the things in Latin perfectly. Clearly this is something that's very routine for him to do, but he's very, very into it, which is not at all, mesh with his personality. And in fact, on the way out, and especially because there's an actual bishop saying this mass, that to him is and on top of being in this, cathedral-like structure, that's not usual for him. So he is very much in a spiritual mindset. But literally on the way out, there's there's lots of candles that you can light for people. He just sleight of hand grabs one and puts them in his pocket and takes it. But you get the sense that it's not for money. It has nothing to do with he's greedy or anything, but there's something about the spirituality of it he wants to take with him.
Sure. Why don't you give us let's see here.
I have legerdemain.
Yeah, legerdemain, and
legerdemain. See, I need help.
What's the stat?
Anyone?
Actually, anyone? Dexterity or quickness? It sounds like maybe one of those two, possibly.
Oh, I think quickness. Yeah, and then Sir Edward, give us an awareness and and
I've done this
perception
before.
Check. Holy shit!
My circumstantial, anything?
No circumstantial, no.
Ooh, I did
good though. Wow,
that's good.
It's very close. But unfortunately, you've been making maybe I don't know. Maybe you're keeping an eye on Robert, but he is much too fast for you to. We see that as the audience, but
right. And here's the cool thing: that candle was lit at the time.
Ooh.
Sir, why is your lapel on fire?
Don't.
So then,
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right.
The congregation, the mass concludes. The congregation departs, leaving Trevor, Jacques, and Gwynedd to freely join the others within, where I think that someone recognizes, or maybe you stick behind Sir Edward, and as a knight, you would certainly carry yourself with a standing above what the folks, the majority of the folks here would be, particularly if you got your armor on. And it reminds me of the sickest burn I remember from my Renaissance history class is there was criticism of one of the popes saying that there was a tract criticizing them that where they die and they go to heaven and God can't recognize them because of their armor, because they were so warmongering and conquering different territories and shit like that. It was, typical Italian Renaissance popery. And the sick joke was that God wouldn't recognize him because he would have his armor on all the time. But you come in, and it is one of the servants of the bishop who maybe would ask what you require, sir, or ask if there's something that they could attend if you mentioned that you are with the mage from Labellus, they will say, "Oh, that they are the bishop is expecting you." Trevor, when you and Gwynedd and Jacques rejoin the others, do we see anything on you to reflect the impact of this divine aura?
I think Trafar will be a little bit subdued. I think his usually sort of inquisitive, open, and confident stance is more closed, and I think you'll often see him with his eyes cast to the ground, just possibly in deference, possibly in recognition, but the weight of the divine light presses on his shoulders quite heavily, and so he's a little quieter and less confident than perhaps he usually is.
And I think to reflect the experience and his real role here too, Trevor, if you step over the threshold thing, there's maybe a moment where you sort of just, pause ever so slightly, and you can feel Jacques' hand on your shoulder. And he simply says, "Steady on, son."
Yeah. Thank you, Jacques.
Yeah, he nods with the look of like, he's going to be right there should you need anything. And you rejoin in, you meet the junior cleric that is going to be introducing you to the bishop. When they confirm that this is your entire party, they bring you in. I don't know, I made it sound like you're getting a table at a restaurant. I'm sure we can only seat you when the entire party is here. I'm terribly sorry. We're very busy today.
When we have a moment, I will want to whisper in the Magus's ear details of the service before, that will not be heard by others, so that he can know if the bishop refers to something that, that the Magus will have heard that this happened at the service.
So there's this guy. His name's, what was it? Jerome, James, Jesus. He talked about Jesus quite a bit during this. So if it does come up, keep that in mind.
Pay attention, right?
But if there was a parable used, I want the Magus to know which parable it was.
So the lot of you are led back, and as you are led into the bishop's quarters, we're already at our mid-session break, guys. So,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's flying by. We started a half hour late, but why don't we take our mid-session break right now? Everyone can refresh their beverages and comfort themselves, and then we'll come back and see what the bishop wants from you. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to remind myself to unmute myself when I get back. So back momentarily. Okay, unmuted. There we go. Banana. Let me see what I've got loaded here. Good. Okay. Hey, everybody at home. Hope you are having a wonderful first weekend of 2026. THX, you're missing your wingman, Wayne. I think Wayne said he was working a really long shift today, so he may be stuck at work. I think we saw Wayne earlier in the Warhammer session from this morning. All right. Hey. Yeah, I've got all my assets loaded already, so just waiting, I guess. Double check everyone's abilities here quickly. Go. All right. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, local area lore. Okay, cool. I made cornbread yesterday. Again, and my whole kitchen smells like it, and it smells so fucking good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. I made for the first time over the holidays, and I kind of thought, like, well, I'm going to make it for next time my son's over for father and son game night. We're going to do chili and cornbread, and then that led me to being like, I better just make sure that combo goes together well first. So I made chili and cornbread yesterday.
That sounds great. And turned out well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it turned out pretty well. I didn't. I'm a terrible fucking baker because I'm impatient as hell, and it kind of burned me this time because I didn't double check to make sure that all of the cornbread was fully cooked. A couple slices that were a little undercooked that I had to end up in the bin, but
Right.
it is a terrific combo otherwise. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Just speaking of making something, Darwin made Ovaltine, and so I did. I don't know if you know this joke, but it's an old Seinfeld joke about Ovaltine. It's Ovaltine. The bottle is round, the cap is round, the spoon is round. Why do they call it Ovaltine? They should call it Roundtine. Yeah. So I told that to him, and he just looked at me like, "What the heck was wrong with you?" Not even joking. It's like, what? Forget it.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we are all back, and you are ready for your audience, Mitt the Bishop. So when you walk in, you find he probably doesn't have the I can't remember what it's called, the scarf thing over his shoulders any longer, but he does welcome you in. And he has a bit of a quizzical look on his face as he's looking you over, and he sees, like, Jacques is the last to come in. Wolfhelm will meet you guys afterwards. He's not likely to be needed in here. So
yeah.
He looks over, and you are likely, Trevor, wearing some kind of accessory or sigil or something that would mark you as the wizard among the group. And he looks at Jacques and says, you are from the Covenant? And Jacques says, "Oi, This is Lord Magus Trevor Cadell. He looks at you, Trevor. So young.
I do not have the wisdom of your age, but I do have some learning, which we hope will be of use to you, sir.
I think, Gwynedd, you've got, church or canon lore. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, give us a check. Yeah, with that, with either of those with intellect or intelligence.
Okay.
Wrong game, Madison.
Okay, so...
What I'm really looking forward to is I've got the Warcraft RPG that's based on D&D 3.5, and it renames all of the stats to be what their Warcraft equivalent is. So, I'm going to fuck up everything every time when I run that.
I'd spend 1 confidence to make it a 12.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, you may wish to... There may be a mistake on the bishop's side not recognizing that a magus is a magus is a magus. If you're sending someone from the Covenant in response to his request, they are as capable as what, or at least has the base threshold of any other magus. This guy may be misunderstanding your respective youths as either a sign that the Covenant did not take their request seriously, or, he's not taking offense yet, but there may be some proactive shoring up that you could do, Gwynedd.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe I don't know if I can whisper to Trevor or make him, I don't know, maybe not, that would be inappropriate. Maybe I would just, because although I'm a woman, I would just say that it is known that the power of a magus does not depend on his age.
Sure. Give us what skill do you think? Is there a charm or something like that?
There's an etiquette, I noticed, by the way.
Yeah,
there is charm, yeah.
Either charm or etiquette and communication. Your dealer, the outcome will be dictated by what skill you check. If you're simply trying to be charming.
Yes. Yeah, and I would use even more confidence now. So.
Okay, that's another point of confidence.
What is it for?
Okay. So the bishop kind of smiles at you and says, I would not suggest otherwise. I am grateful for the assistance of your fellows. You're welcome, Lord Magus. Your companions?
I shall introduce them in turn. I say I also bring with me many of our covenants who bring with them many skills and much understanding.
So again, not just to the point of clarity, the members of the covenant are the mages. There's a reason the other characters are called companions, because they're not necessarily actual members of that. Right. Graham, I know that I'm just fucking splitting hairs here. I'm saving myself some comments in future from viewers.
No, I was getting that wrong too, so that was helpful.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, having introduced them, just very good.
And Sir Perron, ignoring anything about membership, looks at him knowingly, like, it's good to be here. It is my honor to serve you, Bishop.
I hope that you will be of assistance. Are any of you familiar with the monastery of Saint Sylvester, located in West Brockshire? And anyone with a area knowledge. Yep, you can.
I have area lore.
Yep, you can do that as well. That and intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like being the well-read person has its.
Rich people's homes. Lovely. And nunneries as your specialty. So what you would be able to, for one, Robert and Gwynedd, you would both know about them. I think Gwynedd, you know a little bit more. What you know is that the Monastery of St. Sylvester was a monastery, a Benedictine monastery located in West Brockshire, which is one of the more rural parts of Somerset, burned down about 2 decades ago. In a hell of a conflagration, and apparently at the cause of a bandit of some kind. Some bandit raided the place, burned it to the ground. What, Gwynedd, you would know is that in addition to that, but actually before that, Robert, what you would also know is that the parish of West Brockshire has not been the same since, because it was not rebuilt. There was like many monasteries, there is a side trade or side hustle, I guess would be the modern vernacular. Someone younger than me might call it that. There was a industry that was associated with that, and with the loss of the monastery, there was a loss of that industry, which meant the riches that were distributed from there to the community was gone. And so the community, the parish, has suffered as a result of that. Gwynedd, what you heard is there was a sole survivor of that attack. One priest.
Okay.
And you've also heard that the ruins are devil-haunted since.
So I would just blurb out, because I think that's now my time to shine, and I really want to outshine the male scholars. So I would say it is known that this monastery was burned down 20 years ago by some bandit, but I've heard that, or I've read that there is a survivor.
He has a look of... He's very impressed. You are, for one so young, you know a great deal. That is indeed the case. The parish of West Brockshire has suffered neglect from Mother Church for some time. And so I would see a greater interest. I would see West Brockshire rebuilt. But the legends, we hear them too. The monastery of St. Sylvester, whether before or after the tragedy that befell it 20 years past, it is said to be haunted by the forces of hell. I do not know the truth of this. My understandings of, he gestures to you, Trevor, your world, are limited. And I am aware that there are more than the forces of heaven and hell at work in this world. I am not so proud as to acknowledge that to fail to acknowledge that we can benefit from the knowledge that your kind offer. What I request is that you travel to West Brockshire. You determine the source of these rumors and make it safe for the monastery to return, and for us to bring God's grace and benevolence to the parish.
We will do what we can, and we will understand what realms are at work at that place.
To assist with this task, you are not incorrect, my lady, that there was a survivor. And that survivor, though a subdeacon at the time, has become a respected and valuable member of this church. Father Guthrie has become a great foe of the forces of hell. And I have requested that he attend Bath and assist you in this task, both in his capacity as a hammer of the unholy and having lived through the tragedy that befell St. Sylvester. If you have any questions, he has left himself open for this. West Brockshire is probably about another 2 days' travel away.
Sir Edward, I think his eyes are wide, similar like when he was knighted, and his flat hand is on his scabbard, looking very serious. And he says, with your dispatch and God's assistance, I don't see how we can fail.
Good. He seems pleased by that. Lord Magus, Gwynedd, Robert.
Has anyone been previously sent to investigate this by any chance?
We have no record of it, not from the church, at least.
Mm-hmm. I see.
I must admit, such reports are not uncommon, and in a parish as remote and as impoverished as West Brockshire, it has failed to become a priority for those of us of the cloth.
Kevin, would it be would there be constabularies of this type in areas like this? Do we know just in common knowledge, or
like
not?
there could be? I mean, a sheriff that's assigned, but like that's typically, it's unlikely in a place as remote as that. Like,
Gotcha.
It is land that is likely owned by somebody. You know, crack out your copy of the Domesday Book and start paging through. But there wouldn't be, if there was trouble or whatnot, they would call on their local lord. But something like this, there's haunted ruins there. It's not unsurprising that a place that had been supported by, or at least whatever development was there, by one industry, when that's suddenly gone, for it to be just, subsistence farmers left behind, perhaps people who export one or two grains, otherwise just, carry on with whatever kind of community is able to hold on still there. Does that answer your question?
Go ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Graham, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say there was a survivor.
Yes.
Father Guthrie.
Sorry. Father Guthrie. Are we able to speak with Father Guthrie before we depart?
Indeed. I have summoned him here in
very good.
the time since Father Guthrie has turned his tragedy into service to the Lord. He has become a remarkable foe of those in service to the Dark One. He is a great enemy of hell, and I hope that both his expertise and his experience as a survivor may assist you in these investigations.
I would just say we heard that there was a witch hunter in this town. Is this Father Guthrie?
It is in all likelihood he, indeed.
I see.
That would... He seems the grim... I did seem that the Mass has been particularly well attended these past days. His reputation is quite fearsome. His demeanor, the same. He is a challenging man, but those touched by God in service to such an important task, we forgive such unusual aspects of personality.
A very pious and zealous man, by the sound of it.
I think you will find him most zealous and some may say pugnacious.
Well, let me say, Bishop, that if he was in attendance, I do not see how he could have helped being moved by your message today.
Give us a charm and communications check.
You creep.
Let's see, charm you say?
Yeah.
I don't have charm. Is that what etiquette? Can I pitch?
I mean, you're not necessarily. This is just full on.
I'm just begging. I'm pandering. That's all I'm doing. I'm just throwing out things.
Pandering is definitely a generous way of putting it. Well,
Leadership.
You're not supporting. You're not commanding him to do anything.
I
right?
have intrigue. I
don't necessarily.
Are you trying? Yes. What's your motive? What's your motive for this?
I should have started with intrigue. I blew it by having intrigue be my third pitch. I totally screwed that up.
Okay. You can give us just a communication check then. This is not one of those things where you're potentially getting extra, like if you're doing something that you're not trained in that might have a consequence, you can roll extra dice where we're looking to see if you get a botch. It's roll extra botch dice. We're not doing that with this because this is not like. So just give us a communication check then, please.
All right.
With
circumstantial?
I think let's do make sure you use a stress die too. Let's see if anything interesting happens here.
No circumstantial with my blistering pitching? Nothing? No.
No.
All right. Fair enough. It's not terrible. It's not a disaster.
It's not a disaster.
No.
Yeah, you could put conviction to it. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've spent conviction.
And I do so.
Okay.
Nice.
So speaking of which, everyone gets a point of conviction. Or confidence.
Look at that.
Confidence.
Yeah. Confidence.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was.
There is a game that calls it conviction. I just can't remember what it is. So you're not wrong.
Yeah.
See. Oh, excuse me. All right. So, he thanks you for your. He sees whatever you're laying down, thick as it may be. He sees it as as sincere appreciation of the church, and he says, "The Spirit moves through me, my son."
Indeed.
Have you any other questions? It gives you the hostel where to find the hostel where Father Guthrie is staying.
So I take it, since there was not an investigation, Bishop, that the perpetrator there was no justice in this matter.
For the rogue that burned the...
Indeed, Bishop.
Gwynedd, this is where your great role from before, you could pipe up. He was hung several years later on an unrelated thing.
Mm.
He has been sent for judgment.
I look satisfied.
Any other questions? Then, God's grace, and may he watch over you in your completion of your task. He says something in Latin that I don't know. And
Next time.
yeah.
Valide, or something like that.
And you take your leave of him. So you are among yourselves and able to speak.
I feel the bishop is. I am enheartened by his leadership. I know Robert will agree with me that the service was moving, and I look forward to our striving on his behalf. Aren't you, Magus?
Indeed. It is heartening to see one of the divine realm willing and to participate in the other realms and draw in expertise from them.
We are still all gonna die, though. That's Wolfhelm from...
It's Wolfhelm.
Oh. Well,
I mean, at some point.
well, I wouldn't deny that. There is an inevitability to that.
I'm glad for the clarification, Wilhelm.
So there seems to be some supernatural cause, I would reckon.
It seems so. I would think that Father Guthrie may be able to enlighten us to some degree.
Yes, a conversation with him will be enlightening, I would think.
You have the full day before you.
Make it, shall we proceed to the hostel?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. The hostel you could think of is really not far from the abbey itself. It appears to be something that may have been converted over from perhaps like overseers who built the abbey whenever it was. I don't know when Bath Abbey was built. You know what?
Yes, that's a good question.
We read this here, Bath Abbey. Founded in the 7th, reorganized in the 10th, and rebuilt in the 12th and 16th. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so within the last 100 years. So, yeah, it is a hospital nearby where overseers and whatnot who built the abbey has been converted over into, it's all like a single story building, converted over into small units that the visiting clergy would be able to stay at. There is, I think, a central point that when you come in, you see there is a member of the church who is waiting there. He sees the lot of you come in and, good morning. Might I help you?
I'll look to Robert if you're the accommodations.
So one thing for the companions to bear in mind, mages, another thing that is unique about them, they refer to their ability to work magic as the gift. And the gift can be, it affords some phenomenal abilities, obviously. One of the costs that come with that is that people can sense and animals can sense when you have the gift. You may have a blatant or a quiet gift, which may mean that it is easier to deal with other people, or it is just they're really going to take a disliking to you. But at presence, at default, the gift is often just a thing that makes people, if there is an opportunity to dislike you or take something the wrong way, they often do so. It's not like they're going to hate you necessarily, but something's just going to feel, when you get a bad vibe from somebody meeting them the first time, that is what the gift does. It's one of the reasons why you travel with companions who can do the talky-talk shit is because, you're not great at fighting unless you're really good at fighting. You're not, you're not good at talking unless you've got the quiet gift. So this is where the others could assist with that. It's not to say that the mage can't participate in those scenes anyway. It's just it is something that the companions would be aware of. That in their gut, at a gut level, people can kind of know when you are a mage very often.
Mm-hmm. So I think then Robert would make sure that he was the first one in.
Okay.
To the hostel, and he would say, "We've been sent by the bishop to see Father Guthrie."
He kind of looks you over. You all have you? The bishop would have given you a letter of introduction, I think.
Okay, then I'll take it out.
Of course, forgive me. I will see. Might I tell Father Guthrie who asks for him?
Do I know what was written in the letter?
Yep.
Did he put our...
Gwynedd could read it for you.
Yeah, I'm illiterate. That's why I'm wondering if I...
He hands it to him upside down. I think you'll see everything's in order here.
Yeah.
Did
he mention us by name, or that there's a magus among us, or anything like that?
I don't think there is. I don't think that what Gwynedd would see. I don't think there's a specific reference to the magus in here.
Okay.
Because I can't imagine the church would want to put, any bishop would want to put in writing something that says expressly that you're working with a mage.
Right.
That could be used by your enemies
some
against
scholar,
you.
Maybe some literate.
Yeah, but
what about the covenant? We could say that a member of the covenant.
I'm not sure that's necessarily better, because that's still remember the members of the covenant are mages.
Mages.
The companions are other characters who work with or live with or are otherwise associated with it. But what that would it may even be worse. Just that, no, it's not just one mage. I have a whole coven of witches that I work with. So, and here's my letter saying so. What
I think maybe then what I would say is that we were the bishop has commanded us to undertake a journey on his behalf.
Yeah.
And the bishop thought that Father Guthrie could give us information that would help us complete this journey successfully.
So, which is exactly like it will say, it will have all of your names respectively in there. So you would be referred to, it will not refer to Trevor as a mage necessarily. And you can also assume probably that if he commanded Guthrie to be here, he may have spoken to him. And there are things you would say to each other, which are expected to be followed, that you wouldn't want to put into writing that may fall into the hands of someone else.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm assuming that the church, the medieval church, follows the same lessons that I do in the day job. Like, don't put shit into writing that you don't want other, to be before a judge at some point.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'll mention us by name since it's in the letter, each person's name.
Yep.
Without designating a specific calling or anything, or I won't point out scholar, etc.
Okay.
But that I believe that Father Guthrie is expecting us.
I will advise him. Please just wait here.
Very well.
He leaves. you wait for maybe about 5 minutes, and he returns alone and a little ashen-faced.
Uh-oh.
And he says, I'm very sorry. He was unavailable. You need not make a roll. He's obviously lying.
I step forward, pushing past Robert, and I say, "Speak plainly, man."
He is not available, sir.
I'd prefer not going and finding a situation that you are not explaining.
I do not know. And you can see he's stammering, not quite sure what to say. So like a leadership isn't, you don't have any authority over this guy, so a leadership wouldn't be the role that you would make. Is there like an intimidation or something similar to that?
I'm looking, let's see here. I mean, let's see. Intrigue doesn't seem quite right. Etiquette's not correct.
I mean, I have charm, as perhaps others of you have charm.
Yeah, but I think now that Sir Edward has... I mean, you could use leadership, couldn't you? Just command him?
The thing is, he doesn't necessarily have... Oh, intimidation. Intimidation is one of the things of leadership.
I am a noble. I don't know if that,
Specialties.
in a general class sense, if that gives me any sort of barking. No, okay.
Two different spheres of influence. So
Gotcha.
the nobility, it's important, but this guy's part of the church hierarchy. So, but you can, however, give us a... well, I mean, there may be a situational modifier. Give us a leadership check with communication, I think. And I'll give you a +2 because you're station. Okay. Actually, make it a +3 because you've also got the bishop's letter as well.
Okay. It's not bad for rolling a 1.
He says, oh, I should have made it a stress die. That would have been a
you missed an opportunity. Oh, that would have been good for me? Is it 1
That would have been
good?
good for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's the 0 is the botch.
0, right.
If at least that's the way. Should double check.
No, you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, that's right.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nice look at
Yeah,
that.
good job.
Stop clock, baby.
Yeah.
Then what I think he howls a little bit, and he kind of whispers as if he's fearful that someone else might hear, and he says, he has insisted that he should not be disturbed.
Do you know if he is well?
He's quite vigorous.
Is he alone?
He is. And he, everyone give us a guile and perception check if you'd like. If you're not trained in perception, in guile, you can just give us a perception check.
Intrigue would not be a replacement for guile, would it? Here? No.
Yeah, Gwynedd, you say he's not alone now. You definitely get the impression that he has had someone else. It seems like the priest here, this is not the first thing he's been asked to conceal from the on the behalf of Father Guthrie. And I think he's particularly almost blushing. If you sort of like pick up on that, Gwynedd, and he makes your eye contact, he begins blushing kind of uncontrollably.
So a woman, I reckon.
His voice catches in his throat.
I think Sir Edward puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Show us the door."
Yes, sir.
Why
And
are we leaving? I say. So actually, my perception rolls of 3. He's got no idea what's going on.
You hear like the longest sigh and extend it as you can from Jacques. No, lad, we're not leaving yet.
I see.
I'll nod at the Magus like, it's a quip,
Okay.
and move on. And I'll move forward.
Brings you along to the door, and before you get there, it's probably because of your boots in particular, Sir Edward, and Jacques for that matter, if you're all going along, you can hear from inside one of these things. It's a very, this is a very like unadorned place. There may be some things that seems to have clearly been added in afterwards to make this place look like it's a religious organization, but like the structure, this is something that was built to be able to house people for a time that was retrofitted into this sort of, representation of the church or place for the church. And it's before you reach this corridor, when you're getting up to one of these doorways leading into what is in a monastery, it would be seen as a cell. But before you get to the one, you can hear someone's voice from within there saying, "I hear your boots outside. I told you to send them away." And this priest kind of like looks up at you, Sir Edward, like whatever color was left in his fucking face is gone now. So he blushed when he saw Gwyneth. It is now like white as a fish belly. And sorry, what were you going to say?
And I look at the priest for silence, not that he would, but just to make sure, and say, "Well, it didn't work," and through the door.
And you can hear some stomping from inside, and then the door is answered by Father Guthrie. "Who is disturbing me at this hour?" He looks at you. "Children! Children and a man at arms."
"I am Sir Edward. This is Magus Trefor Cadell."
There's sort of a recoiling. And he looks at this priest. He says, "You let a witch in here." And this, you're having to partly hold this guy up by this point, about an eighth. He's not full collapsing. He's not full fainting, but he's getting, it has been a day for him. Yeah. So, but Father Guthrie looks at you, Trevor, and very much the expression that is in the illustration. "Witch?
Smile.
What business have I with a witch? What business have I with one of your order?"
"Oh, I took you to be a man of learning," I say. And I look him up and down and just say, you know full well what I am. I know full well what you are. And I hope you have some knowledge of why we are here. It should, I think, be important to you."
I hand up the letter as Trevor says that.
Go. He takes the letter, and if it's possible, that scowl deepens even further as he reads the letter, and it's just he's almost trembling with fury by the time he finishes it. And he says, and I mentioned this last time, but you can see like he's read it through and then he's reading it over again, almost as if like weighing some means by which he could subvert the bishop's will by interpreting the letter. But it is clear the bishop knew who he was dealing with when he wrote that letter. And so Father Guthrie "So I am to work with you then?" "Lord
So,
Magus."
Father,
"And who are these with you? A child knight? You bring a woman here?" And there's a hard
We're not the only
fucking
one.
swallow from the priest, just like, oh God. It is now a full quarter that you are holding him up.
indeed, I bring companions of learning of military might, and of understanding, all necessary in the difficulties we may face ahead, if your experiences are to be believed.
You would question my faith. It's not at all what you did. He's just clearly trying to turn it into something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then I think you misheard me.
It's not your faith we are interested about. We are interested in your knowledge about the happenings 20 years ago in the monastery of Saint Sylvester.
This is the humiliation I'm to suffer. Interrogated by a woman?
I think Sir Edward is desperately trying to match his scowl, but just can't. Like, he's just too young, too inexperienced, but he's trying to give his fiercest.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, this guy's had decades of being a son of a bitch, so
Yeah.
he's...
I've had a week.
Got a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's trying now. Edward's trying to match his, and he won't let him get any closer to the Magus.
So you're not interested in finding out and cleansing the area, finding out what really happened?
Gwyneth, please, we're not really interested in whether he's interested or not. There is authority here, the authority of the church, to which this father is beholden to. And so it is not a question of interest, it is a question of duty. It is a question of obligation. These things he will understand very well. Will you not, Father Guthrie? I have authoritarian, actually, as a personality trait. I hadn't realized, so I'm just playing it up now. Sorry.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
No, and he is like just ready to boil over with this.
I'm kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, and he's almost shaking. And then he just says, as if it's like everything he can do to get out an even word without his voice breaking or, just losing himself to rage. What would you have of me, mage?
Well, if we are to face the infernal, if such is what it is, then we would have an understanding of what we are facing. We have an understanding of what you survived, so that when we go, we can finish it.
What know of you, of what I have survived?
It is why we're here, sir.
Then you know? What do you know thus far? That I may not repeat myself.
I'll sort of look to those who actually had the conversation.
So Gwynedd, actually, if you want to further drive this forward, Gwynedd, you can repeat what you know.
Yeah. I repeat what I know and what I've been told.
He doesn't look at you the entire time that you're saying him the things, but the one eye is just twitching like crazy right now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to manufacture it such that Gwyneth says as much as possible in this meeting.
Yes. So he is, again, like just on the verge of losing self-control. He's now decided on locking eyes with you, Trevor, and just not leaving them whatsoever. But you can tell, like, again, that one eye is twitching and he's struggling to maintain control over himself, and that losing with respect to that eye. What he says after you summarized, he says, what she says is correct. I, through the grace of God, survived. I was spared the burning of the monastery and the death of my brothers by Owen the Beast, who himself saw justice. Many years later, God's justice comes to those undeserving. Fallen creature, a creature of Satan himself, like Owen. He found justice in the divine. And at the end of a short rope, And you would know the name of the bandit was Owen, with the moniker of the Beast.
Mm-hmm. So,
Through the miracle
but
of
he's-
God, I survived the flames of Saint Sylvester and found a new path and purpose beyond the monastery. From the tragedy of that loss, God found a new working for me, a place where I might bring those unholy and fallen into God's grace.
Your work in this city is highly spoken of. And our work to meet the perils of the abandoned monastery, I hope, will further your reputation.
Reputation is nothing. It's God's grace is all that should concern all of us.
Then perhaps God, at least as the way Bishop Simon would see it, has graced us to meet you today at this time.
Seems like both eyes are twitching now. And is that all, Magus?
Is there anything more we think we can get out of him?
Yeah, so if that is all that there is, why is there still some kind of supernatural haunting going on?
Again, his eyes are still locked on Trevor, but he is answering your question. There is no speaking of the ignorance and superstition of those locals, and the backward folk of West Brockshire are among the most ignorant. I cannot speak for them. I've found no merit to their rumors.
So you've been to the grounds?
I have not, but I've heard. But such as the myths of every fallen covenant and nunnery, monastery and nunnery. Tongues wag from the ignorant.
I would just out of spite, I would give 3 examples of monasteries or nunneries where they were burned down or something, where none of these haunting rumors exist.
You can see he's trying to hold eye contact with Trevor, but he cannot help it and just kind of looks over at you and glowers. He really didn't want to acknowledge you once again. What is the expression that Gwynedd has in response to Father Guthrie's glower?
I think she nods.
He slowly brings his eyes back over to you, Trevor. Anything further?
You have been extremely helpful, I say with a big smile. And I'm sure we shall report to Bishop Simon of this meeting and the substance of it. And we shall make our way to the place of this apparent infernal presence.
Now there's a twitching in his cheek. So this was my recollections were not sufficient. You would have me accompany you on this fool's errand. Probably didn't want to say it or describe it as a fool's errand, but he's just too fucking pissed off right now.
Do I get the impression that's what Bishop Simon is wanting? Yeah, it is. In which case I would say that's very much what is wanted. Your presence, I am sure, would be invaluable.
I, of course, am pleased to serve at our bishop's direction. Good night,
Good night.
As loud as you could possibly slam that thing, to the point where there's some other traveling cleric, like 3 doors down, who kind of pokes a head out and like, the hell's going on? So,
I think that went well.
Sir Edward, you are basically holding up this poor priest who has been watching the front door at this point.
I think I just let go of him because that's not where my thoughts are.
He nearly collapses.
I'm having a testosterone party. Sir Edward just like he thought it was going to go down there for a second. Like he's like, oh, this is it against a father, no less. Like what is happening? But he, if he took one more step towards the magus, the knight was going to feel like he was going to have to put his hands on the father. So he's kind of like trembling himself, like trying to come down a little, like.
So maybe like you've been like holding this guy a lot harder than you realize, and then when you let him go, he nearly fucking collapses. And he stumbles up, and this poor, hapless, low-ranking cleric kind of looks at you and says, "I will show you out."
I'll look to the magus.
Thank you.
Yes.
You guys are led today.
Yes, show us out.
And he sort of slinks along the corridor, but it does leave you guys free to discuss. The person who poked their head out kind of watches you all, walk by and then closes the door. Jacques, I think once you're free of this hostel, will step in to you, Trevor, and say, "What do you make of him, boy?" You wouldn't say boy, you say lad.
Yeah. He suffered a great deal. And what we see is the evidence of that in the way that he speaks and acts. I do see an honest commitment there as well. There is goodness in him, I think. And a lot of anger.
Gwynedd said, "Is there?"
Is there
goodness in him? It seems like maybe my impression was wrong, or I had too high hopes of such a man, but it seems like he's not very much following the principles of the thing he believes in, at least he says.
They're so broadly interpretable, though, aren't they?
Are they?
My experience of the church is exactly that.
I think it's actually Gwynedd would she has no real experience. She would go by the literal meaning of what is written, and he does not behave like it was written. Seems not to care so much about what the church says.
Sir Edward, going through an adrenaline dump, says, "Magus, he called you a witch to your face. Your face. It's outrageous."
He lacks respect, but then he feels he's in a position to lack respect.
Yes, Magus. It's a test. Whew. It's a test.
Well, I think it will be a test. It's going to be very testing having him with us.
He did not speak about what happened in the night. Did you notice?
No. He did not, you're right.
So he was rather vague about what saved him and how he was saved. It was just a miracle, if I recall correctly.
It spared him, is what Jacques repeats.
Not sure if I trust him.
I'm sure. Meaning, not.
Ah. Yes. I mean, he is... We are working with him at the behest of the bishop. Seems that if there were something gravely wrong, the bishop might do something about it, but perhaps the bishop is unaware of the darker things lurking in the mind of Father Guthrie.
I think Wolfheim, though he wasn't there, it would be Jacques. Jacques may say, if he's a witch hunter, why is he reluctant to ensure there's no witches there?
I thought that he might have been scarred by the fire or something and swore never to come back, but he was very passionate in his hatred towards us, but there was very little passion about what happened to the monastery.
And he did not seem timid.
No.
If he's been enough to drive people to the pews just with his reputation, why is he being reluctant to go back there? And why is he so dismissive?
Perhaps his reputation is not built on, shall we say, the truth? Would be my guess, from the types of people that I consort with anyway.
He fears something there, I think. But he cloaks it with anger.
I think he fears us finding out his true nature.
Oh, indeed. But I think he fears that location, that place, even before our arrival. Both.
Perhaps.
So, I just do we so. Would Gwyneth know if Trevor can somehow sense if a being is honest or so? If a certain spell?
There are spells that do. I think it's the something of the spoken word or something like that. There are spells that you like if you lie, you cause like condensation.
Yeah. So perhaps it is wise at some point to use some kind of spell on him.
Yeah, the only...
Though I would be cautious, he is a witch hunter. There's no telling how he may respond. I wouldn't let him see you do it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's tough. Magic is many things. Subtle is not one of them.
Yeah.
Although Trevor does have a spell called something of the unseen question. Something like that.
Interesting.
That's one of his...
So, Kevin, you can choose to cast sort of spells on the fly.
Yep.
As well as, so like formula spells, as well as pre-existing spells.
So when you make a character, mages will have certain formulaic spells that they know and they're able to cast without they know all the ins and whatnot to get that specific magical effect. They still need to make a roll to cast it, but it is something that they are capable of casting efficiently. You're also able to spontaneously cast, which is to try and just create a magical effect. And you can do that by either accepting a fatigue level, in which case we divide your result by 2, or you don't take one and we divide your result by 5. And then we compare that to the outcome of your casting.
And so the latter one is where you would do something like Peridot Ignum or something, where you're like destroy fire or that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then all spells are also combinations of that. And then when you're
all of them are okay.
Yeah, and like for the story guide, when you're and the players, when you're adjudicating what you can do with spontaneous magic, you sort of use those as spells as guidelines for how to cast it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool. It is
very cool.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah.
So, you guys have the rest of the day in Bath. Anything you wish to do or discuss?
Well, I am clean. I don't know if anyone would like to partake of the facilities here. Wilhelm, I suggest that you please do.
It's just going to get dirty again, ain't I?
How did I know you were going to say that? All right, fair point. Fair point. Just
Them
stand
animals,
two
it
paces to the
smells
side.
me down here. Downwind.
And you're not wrong. All right, fair enough. So the idea is that we were to set out in the morning. Is that correct? Or did we establish a time to head out yet?
Oh yeah.
So
You guys like
could you just do we know more about the surroundings of the monastery, or is it just a lonely?
A week on foot to get to West Brockshire.
Okay.
All right.
And sir, what was your question? It's quite remote.
Yeah. So, but no, my question was: is it an isolated monastery, or is this near a village or something?
Near a village. It's about 3 hours walk from West Brockshire up to the monastery.
Okay. So maybe it is useful to at least get to West Brockshire before and talk to the locals there.
Yes.
Since it's not possible to wash that man's indignity and lack of etiquette from my skin, I guess that would be the best use of our time. Is that what you were thinking, Magus?
Yes, I think although he will be a burden, he may prove yet to be the key that unlocks the problems that we will face.
So
We should keep an eye on him.
Oh, have no doubt.
one of the things that the letter also provides is that it is addressed to not to the specific by name. Hold on. No, it would have by name because there would be church records. If that is a parish within the diocese, they would have it. It is Father Michael is the parish priest in West Brockshire, and wait, I think the village is actually no, it is called West Brockshire. Never mind. I think it's called Brockshire, but that ain't right. He is the parish priest of West Brockshire, and the introduction has been provided such that they will provide lodging for you, such that is available in a village parish.
Okay.
Anything you guys wish to do in Bath before commencing the long trip out to West Brockshire with someone who's likely to be a memorable traveling companion?
To say the
What
least.
time is it? What time is it today? Sorry.
It probably is not even noon by the time you finish up with dealing with your interactions with Father Guthrie.
What were we going to say, George?
I was just going to say that I was going to do this sort of standard provisioning for the journey. I think it's probably one of my tasks that I tend to.
Yeah.
I think Sir Edward's going to seek confession if it's available, like on depending on what the facilitation thereof, because of the things he thought for the last 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, wrath is a cardinal sin. So
He realized that the bath is not going to do him any good. It's confession
Not cardinal
that will
sin,
wash
cardinal
from
virtues.
his soul.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna be seeking out confession. What about Gwynedd and Trevor? If you want something role playing, there definitely would be booksellers in Bath.
Yeah.
If it's a big abbey and there's lots of church members going by, they're literate, so there would be booksellers here. This would be a place where you could purchase things if you want.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we go for some books?
I think so.
Okay.
So we should see what we can find.
And I can really picture Jack's face as he looks, how happy he will be just coming with us to the bookstore.
There is a moderately long sigh. Then, is there anything else you guys wish to accomplish before you set out? At least in Bath.
I can't think of anything. You guys have any thoughts?
Yeah, unless there's something mundane like provisions, but we're probably okay.
Robert's got you covered for that.
Very good.
Okay.
So only if there is in the bookstore maybe some I don't know, there was this like a rural poetry was a very popular thing in ancient literature. So there might be some Latin poetry about the quiet country life, and I would if I could get such a small book, maybe I would rather send it to the priest we
Gwynned's reading a book of poetry and turns to Trevor. Where is Nantucket?
No. I was just I wanted to give it to this
Father Guthrie
scholar. Yeah, no, not to the one who was taking care of Guthrie and to who we.
Oh, the guy at the front. Yeah. Oh man, he's gonna have a bad night. Oof.
Yeah, so that's at least some kind of consolation, maybe.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can find. Yeah, that, and I think he would deeply appreciate that. He was also frightfully embarrassed in front of you. So.
Yeah, just to have his thoughts now focused, or I mean, it could be
Yeah. So he will happily. So you're able to find something like that from the bookseller. Is there anything else that anyone wishes to do? No.
I think I'll pick up a knick-knack from Bath. I want something to remember it by. Like, it might be touristy, but I don't realize it's touristy. I'm looking for something that's...
It's a Latin word for tchotchke.
Yeah. I'm looking for a tchotchke that I think is real, whatever. Yeah. Like some kind of...
Sure. I mean, I don't...
Like even a vial of the water, classic.
Yeah. I think that's probably the kind of thing that you could get. I'm trying to think of like what the hucksters... We were talking about indulgences before, and like there isn't quite the, industrial scale of indulgence sales now as there was or there will be in a couple hundred years. There is definitely like a rife market of like fake relics and shit like that. So
well, I go where the real ones are.
Oh, definitely. Yep. You were a learned, discerning, I'm not going to get bamboozled. That's why I've got this saint relic here. Which is definitely not just,
Yep.
Absolutely.
So a vial of water if it's available.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because the nature of the healing waters. I'm trying to remember. I don't think that the waters themselves were ever associated with a saint, though. So they're not necessarily they
But
definitely
holy
have that
properties.
kind of like folk quality to them, but it's not a matter of like Saint so and so blessed this, because that quality and that legend predates. That's one of the. I could be wrong about that, but I don't remember seeing anything about Saint so and so at the baths, which makes me think that they never bothered to co-opt it the way that they did with some other things, like with certain pagan holidays that were repurposed towards Christianity. So, yeah. But in any event, there will be something that you'll be able to pick up from there. Anything else you guys wish to do in Bath for parting?
Perhaps we should just, and I can't do this myself, but maybe Gwyneth can do it, send a word to a letter or something to Bishop Simon to let him know that we made contact with Father Guthrie and are going to proceed.
Sure. Okay. That could easily be passed along. Anything else? Then
I'm excited to journey with this priest.
He has a horse of his own, and he will be
Of course he does.
riding that. Sir Edward has a horse, but everybody else will be on foot. So you are setting out, and now we get to use the Ars Magica journey rules. And
They have journey rules.
No, they
Okay,
don't. No,
cool.
they don't.
Oh, I was going to say, really?
That's what this game's
I
about.
didn't see that.
Back to deaf feet and light fingers. Back to the.
I'll make the weather rolls.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God. I think I've ensured in our Warhammer Fantasy campaign that we will never set foot outside of a city again with those rules.
Yep.
Is that token? Here we go. Okay. It is a long and arduous journey. That eventually leads you to the village of West Brockshire.
That's cool.
There's our troop. Genuinely one of my favorite game names for the party. In this one, called a troop, not a party.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys wish to interact with Father Guthrie or to do over the course of the week-long journey?
I'm just paying attention to how many times he does his daily prayers and rosaries and whatever, and whether he's doing them properly and that sort of thing. Like, from my knowledge of what would be proper.
Sure. Do you have canon law as one of your?
I don't believe so. Let me just look
Do you
here.
have any ability you think might apply other than that, then?
I have. I don't have a lot of helpful abilities in that way. I don't feel like any of these really.
Should give us a stealth check.
Stealth? Yeah, I can do that. Alrighty, here we go. 11. I will spend a confidence.
Got it.
Yes.
Speaking of which, everyone gets a point of confidence because we're in our last half
I'm
hour.
gonna get my confidence back.
Start blowing it.
Exactly.
So it is about maybe 3 days into the journey. You're traveling across Somerset. Lovely Somerset. I have no illustrations or photos of Somerset, maybe for next time. But in the course of your journeys, it's at one of these taverns where, keeping an eye on Father Guthrie, he, perhaps not surprisingly, chooses not to socialize with you. Unless you insist on him on accompanying him at any points, he is taking his meal separate from you. Oh, Sir Edward has lost all of his confidence. Oh, it's back. Never mind. Don't worry, guys. It's back. He found it.
Guthrie tested it, but Edward is back.
What you find, Sir Robert, is It seems that after 3 days of traveling with you guys and whatever else you're subjecting him to and the things, truly is letting his guard down just a bit, because he has about probably 1 cup of ale too many. He seems particularly and oddly friendly. Some even may say familiar with a relatively young and comely barmaid.
Interesting.
And if you happened to follow him outside at one point after he seemed to share secret whispers, or obviously secret whispers, with her, you would catch him in the act of, I believe the local vernacular is snogging.
Interesting.
Okay.
So, for a priest, he definitely is succumbing to one of the mortal sins. What's it called?
Carnal?
Lust?
No, and that's
The
one of
carnal
them.
sin?
Deadly sins.
Oh.
Deadly sins.
Deadly sins.
Yes. The cardinal
Right.
virtues and the
Yes.
deadly sins. There we go. Yes. You can choose to have interrupted him, or to made him known that you saw this, or just without good enough of a stealth roll to just have that knowledge.
Oh, yes. Putting it in my back pocket.
Do you share it with anyone else in the troop?
I definitely will. Once you make sure I'm out of earshot of anybody else, not just him, I will make sure I convey that.
Okay. Who do you tell first?
I think my go-to is always been, I think it's embarrassing for me to kind of tell Gwyneth about it directly. I think he's kind of like, despite like his usual demeanor, like he's just around, he's a little bit nervous around members of the opposite sex, but not, he, maybe has some kind of scar from his past about that. So he doesn't like to bring up something as provocative as this directly. So I think and the Magus is like, his protector, like technically. I think the Magus doesn't care whether Robert lives or dies, probably, but Robert sees him as a protector, so he doesn't like to bother the Magus. So I think his go-to is always Sir Edward, like at first.
Okay. So how does Sir Edward react initially to...
I knew it. I mean, is there any question? This man just... His piety left him long ago. I mean, he takes this mantle of witch hunter and uses it to shield all of this untoward behavior and attitude. He called the Magus a witch. I mean, that is beyond the pale, and we see the fruits of his faith, or lack thereof. Did you happen to get the barmaid's name? Could be useful for her for her teachings, and for some credibility with the bishop of such a matter.
Both of their mouths were too busy for me to hear any talking, unfortunately.
Well done, though, Robert. Well done.
Well, I do not trust him, like as I said, and I know that you did not as well. But I think we not only were our gut instincts correct, but now we have proof if we need it. Although
Well done.
it would be our word against his, I guess.
I think she would probably, well, that's true. She would fear his wrath. Fair point.
And probably not be taken seriously regardless, unfortunately.
You guys do know, I think, amongst one another as well, like, Gwynedd is extremely well read in canon law. So if you want to judge how valuable, that kind of discretion may be, she may be able to give you some insight into whether it's a big deal or where you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Right, that's a good point. So I say this, Sir Edward, I say to you, perhaps we we, and like pointing at you, should speak to Gwyneth about it.
I have to say I was quite impressed with her presence. It was unexpected with so far with the bishop, and even in front of my father Guthrie.
Yeah.
So that's well noted. I will do so. We will
Very
do so.
good. Yes, very good.
Okay. What is Gwyneth's reaction?
I'm surprised that the others did not think that this was what he was doing before, because I think
Well,
it had been clear. But yeah, okay.
no, I think I would say we knew. We just didn't witness it directly.
He was
Okay.
caught in flagrante, mouth to mouth.
Okay. Yes. So I think kissing is not strictly a cardinal sin. I think that might be something that could be so. I mean, it's not a good look, but I think that's too little to do some blackmailing with it, to put it in that way. I mean, you can have me roll, but I would think that this is actually something that would be.
There's a lot of priests, and this time there's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
priests who have families on the side and whatnot.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Is not my son.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think that would not lead anywhere. As long as he is not somehow giving her money from the church, that would be a totally different thing. So if he spends the church's money on his love life, that would be maybe not so more problematic. Let me put it this way.
So what I hear you saying is that I should have stumbled hard into that door he was peeking out of. I take your admonitions seriously. I will.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad we had this. I'm glad to have your counsel.
So, but the question is, nonetheless. So, if you, I think, if I understand correctly, Robert tried to witness whether he was doing his hourly prayers and so on. If he did this the right way, and can we infer that he did? So, yeah. So, then I think he's off the hook.
I see. Well, I'm glad we have you with us, Wooded.
Indeed.
Trying to decide here if he would. No, he would not. I was contemplating whether he would offer confession, the sacrament of confession, to you. I think he is too fucking angry to be thinking that cleverly, to try and manipulate you into trying to admit things that he could then potentially use. He's too pissed at you and he hates you all. So I don't think he has the wherewithal to think that. And it's also he is otherwise holding himself. You give no other indication. It is because he was too much in his cups on that one evening that he let it slip. That I mean, that was in poor phrasing on my part, but
After 10 minutes.
Inadvertently, was indiscreet. But it was on account of liquor. He seems to have learned the rest of the week of travel. You see no similar, slip ups.
Okay. So he truly seems to be a man of the cloth, to me. So I will take that into account, to my surprise.
Yeah.
But I also, there are many things about the canonical laws that I am unaware of course, and how things exactly supposed to work. I know what I'm told to do or not do. So That's my barometer. But I've been corrected.
That is an interesting point. Actually, are you just taking like you mentioned before that Robert is insistent on attending mass, attending confession, or receiving confession. Is he trying to like hit parishes along the travel, or would he approach Father Guthrie about that?
That is a good question. I think I wouldn't have approached him. I would have taken any opportunity I could as we were traveling, if we were stopping somewhere for a bit, to go to confession, go to a mass, get communion, or anything I could.
Okay.
Once a day sort of thing, when possible. But I think now that I sort of had this time to get to know more about Father Guthrie, I think now I might be willing to ask him going forward, despite his anger. But if necessary, and I felt like it had been a while, I think I would check in with him, because I actually think I think what Robert is thinking now is that's the one area that's possible that Father Guthrie would take seriously and be able to let his anger recede for the time he was saying whatever, prayers or taking confession or whatever.
Okay. Is there anything else that anyone... we'll deal with that in a moment here. Is there anything else that anyone else wishes to do in the course of the week-long trip? Oh, and also...
No one is
Sorry, I was going to ask Graham, when do you guys tell Trevor about the...
I was going to say, do you? Or do you not? Let's just fly out of the way.
I think Sir Edward would be compelled to tell the Magus.
Okay. When does he tell him? That night? The following morning? Along the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably at the first opportunity of assured privacy.
Sure.
Maybe even privacy.
So I'm assuming that it's at the table, in the pub, the night that he learned of it. Sir Edward kind of sits down next to you, Trevor. What do you say?
Like bated breath kind of thing. Looks at him like, oh, sure enough, Magus, Robert caught Father Guthrie cavorting with one of these barmaids, basically openly.
Oh, that's fascinating. Isn't it interesting, that liminal realm between the natural and the divine? It's uncomfortable, isn't it? When they rub up against each other, if you know what I mean.
Edward's slightly confused by the, from the raw to the, to the intellectual response, but he's pretty sure. Yeah, the
I think
tone.
Wolfhelm pipes in like, I know what he means.
But Edward's pretty sure the tone was correct, so he's like, yes, yes, Magus, exactly. That's what I was. Yes, indeed. I will. And should we say this is after the conversation with Gwynedd, or I mean, I was pretty eager. It could have been before too. I don't know.
You do seem like a big of enough dork that you probably would have waited to tell Gwynedd until the very last opportunity.
Yeah. I'll update the Magus that I will tell you, Magus, that Gwynedd does not think this information will be particularly useful in an official capacity. It is not specifically forbidden.
Although it is forbidden, I believe, it is very commonly flouted.
Oh, I see.
Which I think makes it, I think again, we're witnessing the interaction of the mundane with something much higher. And the two do not mix very comfortably very often.
Gwynedd could also, the insight you may offer is that you are creatures of sin. This is why the sacrament of confession exists.
Yeah.
I'm not so conversant in the language of the church, but that's pretty much what I was trying to say.
Gives me a blinding migraine every time I step into one, but you know.
Yeah. Although, yes, I think that is useful information that we have, and may have recourse to use it at a later date.
Indeed, to use with Father Guthrie, if not the good bishop.
Indeed.
That is.
I heard
You're
what
right,
you
Gwyneth.
said.
So yeah. Okay. Very, very useful information indeed. So.
She's just tolerating us.
That's where she stays in her library most of the time.
That's true. For a reason.
Yeah.
Then, in that week of travel, anything further that you guys would wish to address or try to secure from Father Guthrie?
Yeah, do you think we should press him further about what we've already discussed with him, or should we let that lie? He's obviously seemed quite upset about discussing what transpired there so long ago.
So
Magus. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, but I don't know how to get this information on while traveling. But is there some something more known about the bandit who was called the Beast? I mean, seems awfully specific.
Well, Magus, you seem to have a way with him, this Father Guthrie, I thought.
I said again, it's the liminal space between the magical and the divine. It's very uncomfortable. It's interesting how that when the realms interact, there is friction and fire. So yes, I do have a way with him. I'm not sure if it's a very good one.
Yeah, no, but it's just an idea. But we can ask the persons in the village also. But I think we should ask Guthrie that.
Of course,
he should know something about the perpetrator.
What is it you seek to? Oh, go ahead, Graham. Sorry.
I was going to say, in which case, prompted by Sir Edward and Gwyneth, I will ask that question.
What circumstances do you think you're asking? While you're on the road, while you're taking a break along?
While he's cavorting.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of cavorting.
Yeah. So the Beast. The Beast. No, when you've got a difficult conversation and you sort of do it when walking next and sort of side by side with someone, so it's like it's it's that sort of basic psychology. You sort of have the difficult conversation while just mundanely walking or traveling on horses or whatever we're doing, so that it's not a confrontational piece. It's more always throw it into the conversation. I might try. I've got some guile, but I'm not really trying to be clever with him. I think it's just we'll have having a conversation about something on the road, and then I'll just sort of as casually as I can, just say, it was known that Owen's name was the Beast. What a strange name. Why was it so? What do you know of that name? Yeah.
Remember, he's on a horse as well, so you're walking up and kind of talking.
Well, even better in some way, because he has that sense of superiority over me because of his height.
Although Jacques will be subject to your instructions, otherwise he's going to be right behind you.
That's fine. I mean, again, I don't want anything to be unusual, like I'm suddenly on my own with him. It's just...
Nice day today, eh? Yeah. That time that all your brothers died and you nearly died. The fellow was behind that. Funny name, yeah? Let's see, what are you thinking as far as, I think communication is probably the stat. What are you thinking as far as ability?
Oh, gracious, I probably haven't got one.
You do have confidence, though.
I have. I've got. I've got lots of very hard-sounding ones like charm and etiquette and guile and intrigue and leadership.
I could see intrigue because you're really trying. I mean, like I mean, from the way you described it, I think that is probably just charm, which would be a hard thing with this fella. But if that's the approach, then that's what we roll. If you're trying to allow him to talk about it in a way that is going to let him rant and get the information out, that's probably intrigue. So it depends on how much like social engineering you want to indulge in.
Well, let's go with the intrigue angle. I'm trying to sort of get him to.
So in which case, it might not be... Communication is definitely one stat it could be, but I am open to other pitches if you think there's another approach here.
I mean, I could use intelligence in the sense that I'm trying to pitch the moment cleverly where it will have the best impact, or in some ways he'll be expecting at least almost caught off guard as I'm asking him the question. So he almost sort of starts to speak before he realizes he should, if indeed he does have something.
And like Robert is the one Robert's also like, he's quite adept with negotiations and social interactions and whatnot. If you've been like workshopping this thing out, I would see that as being intellect for sure, or intelligence for sure.
Okay. And would it be a stress die or an ordinary die?
I think so, yeah. With this guy, stress die, probably.
Okay.
You're playing with... I'd say you're playing with fire, but that would be suggesting damnation.
Okay. And no circumstantial. So let's press submit.
10. You'll spend confidence, make that 13?
I certainly can. Certainly will.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So then that would... 13 is beyond hard. Unskilled characters always fail, and moderately skilled characters normally do unless they're very talented. Skilled characters fail almost half the time. So, yeah. If you... My smart assery aside, is that sort of what you were intending? Is to sort of like... Very
kind of. It's more a case of, we'll have several sort of very level, very easy conversations in a topic that he's interested in, whatever it might be, as I've learned. And then I'll just switch it suddenly and say, and that bandit leader, Owen, he had the name Beast. Why did he have that name?
And he looks down at you, and his eyes blazing with intensity, but not, literal fire, obviously. Yeah. And he says, and what name would you give to a man who would slaughter an entire monastery, if not the Beast? Though he had that name before he came to us.
So he had reputation?
Oh, aye. Remorseless. Satan spawn. Ours was the first monastery put to the sword and the torch, but he killed many, sent them on to their grand reward before he was finally seen to justice.
I see. So it was his butchery that gave him that name.
Indeed. Savage, a creature.
A creature.
Aye. He looks up, away from you. What name would you give such a thing other than Beast? Would you give us an awareness check? I think.
Yeah, I'm sort of going through this sort of like.
Maybe perception. And actually, Robert, if you were sort of workshopping, I know I suggested that, but if you agree with that. You can give us one as well. You could be kind of listening in. You could also do... go ahead, Graham. I was going to say, you could actually... awareness or intrigue. perception and intrigue would also probably make sense. Nice.
Yeah,
I'll spend a confidence since I got him.
Got it. 15 then. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Watch.
We needed to have one. We needed to have one in this session.
Yeah.
We did.
All right. Let's see. You know what I'm going to say?
Trevor has a perception of -2. I just thought I'd mention that.
That is, yes. Yes.
But I did roll a stress die, which...
Yeah, and I don't know if it would have necessarily been a stress die, but let's roll with it anyway. I think he's done talking about it with you.
Yeah.
Anything easier you get further, like, that's about as much insight as you're going to be able to get from him. He will otherwise just be recanvassing further the same information he's given you before. But with a 15, Robert, there is a demeanor about Guthrie when he looks away and looks ahead that you have not seen from him. If you ask, if this occurs after you've asked for him to administer the sacrament of confession, he is an absolute son of a bitch doing it. Like, a ridiculous amount of penance for whatever, like, it'll be half your day of Hail Marys regardless of whatever it is you tell him. He's going to give you just an onerous amount of penance for whatever you confess to. There is no softness to be found in him in performing the administrations. He's in the business of the church to fuck up non-believers, not to save the faithful.
Yep.
But in that moment, when he talks about what else would you call such a creature, there is wistfulness there. Something to contemplate over the next 4 weeks. Because sadly, we are out of time, guys, for session 1.
Man.
All right. Yeah, 4 hours have flown by.
Yep.
Guys, let me just bring us back to our main screen here. Then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of Salvation, our Ars Magica adventure that we'll be playing to kick off our series of Muser's Most Wanted sessions for this year. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to put a comment in the section down below. I've also included a link to Atlas Games, the publisher of Ars Magica, in the description of this video. You can follow that link through to learn all about Ars Magica and the definitive edition, which is currently available for pre-order. We're not sponsored by them or anything like that. It's just that this is a game I've loved for years and years and years, and the definitive edition really does look like it's going to live up to its name. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have channels there dedicated to most of the games and campaigns we run on the channel, as well as things like assorted games, GM discussion, find a group, virtual tabletop chat. There's a terrific, helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly community over there. You are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including older editions of Ars Magica. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter. Oh, there is no code. I was going to say, be sure to enter the code. We normally have a discount code listed down below. Because of the timing of this session, we don't have a new one yet, but I will have one soon. So if you're listening to this after January 3rd, 2026, come back to one of our more recent videos. You will have a current discount code listed down below. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart troop. So Ingolf, Sean, Graham, and George, thank you so much for joining me in Somerset for another session of Ars Magica. This was a huge amount of fun to run. It's really neat having a game where, like, I referenced this maybe twice, and I referenced the core book like just a handful of times. In contrast to other, we play a lot of other games. Oh, that's not true. I also use I looked at this as well. Heirs to Rome. But for those listening at home, we'll be back in 4 weeks' time to conclude this adventure, where I'm sure there'll be nothing terrible, awful, horrendous waiting for them in West Brockshire. And certainly Sir Edward will not be tested in his virtue. Definitely, certainly, probably, maybe not. But until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.